Hey friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. I hope you're having a great start to your Saturday. It's windy, sunny. It's comfortable out with a sweater or a sweatshirt, or I just run out to the chickens in a t-shirt and I'll be fine. Earlier this morning, I had the t-shirt, flannel, and a fleece vest because it was cold. But it wasn't too bad because it wasn't rainy and it wasn't real windy. But right now, as I look out the window, there's a breeze out there. So what I wanted to share with you today is we all know that our foods on the shelves are being bought out by other companies so that they can still provide us food for our shelves because the smaller companies are just tired. I'm sure there's restrictions. I don't know all the dynamics of why companies sell out. And it could be that some of these companies, and just like the farms, if their children are not willing to take the company over because they have some other passions in their life, then, it's kind of like there's a point where you retire. And so they end up selling out. And that can change the character of the food, the quality of the food that we consume. Now, this person, Jacqueline from, let me see, Deep Roots at Home. I follow her. I get her emails daily. And she was sharing some information that most of it wasn't surprising to me because I've heard that these companies have transitioned, but there were some that I'm like, oh, that's disappointing because I have purchased their product. So I want to share the good news. Okay, I'm going to share some products that have not sold out to larger corporations that add sugar or add other things, preservatives, red dyes, and all that kind of stuff. So these are some products that you can kind of like feel a little bit more comfortable. So I'm sorry for the glare that we're going to get here. All right. So some things that are good. Alvarado Street Bakery. I've never heard of them because I bake my own stuff. Apple and Eve, their juices and stuff, still good. Artisani Nut Butters. Bearded Brothers, never heard of them. Betty Lou's Bars, Bio Nature, Bob's Red Mill. So I'm kind of grateful that they're still doing good. Bragg Foods. Okay, I don't know how to say this because I'm Bueno Foods, Bueno. Did I say that right? And then there's Carla Lee's Nut Burgers, CB's Nuts, Core Foods, Crafter's Organic Fruit Spreads are still good. Eden Organic, Edward and Sons brands, Farmers Market Organic Pumpkin and Squash products. You get them in the can. More often than not, you'll see them on the shelves because of the holiday coming up. Ferretti's Peanuts. And actually, pumpkin and squash is actually really good for you nutrition-wise. If you don't know how to take a pumpkin or a squash and bake it and then get the stuff out, having a good quality pumpkin and squash on your shelf is actually good because you can make breads. You can add it in soups as a thickener and whatever you desire, and you can eat it straight. Like if you can't cook it, you can still eat it. So that being said, let's move on. Ferretti's Peanuts. I've never heard of them. Fyodor. Okay, I'm going to spell this, folks. FIORDIFRUUTA Organic Fruit Spread. I've never heard of that product. And because I do my own fruit spreads, my jams and jellies, I'm not always looking for those things. Grindstone Bakery, Crown Right, Healthy Times, Helios Organic Kefir, Late July. They make chips and stuff, I believe. That's what I think. Now, these companies, Let's Do Organic, Native Forest, Let's Do Gluten-Free, Road Ends Organic, they're still good, they said, but it was acquired by a family-owned Edwards and Son, which I think I mentioned above. Lotus Foods, Lundberg Family Farms and Weha Farms, Mary's Free Range Turkeys. So when it's time to get turkeys, look for Mary's Free Range. Murray's Chicken, My Grandpa's Farm, Napa Valley Naturals, Native Forest, Nature Factor, Nature's Legacy, Vitaspelt, Purity Foods, Nature's Path, Newman's Own Organics, Now Foods. Now Foods is a supplement source, and I've bought them before, and I do buy sometimes like their coconut and stuff like that, and I buy some other things from them. And then I was looking up because I noticed that she didn't have the supplements I typically purchase, and I'm like, on either the bad or the good. And so I looked it up, and they've been sold. So I'm like, I have to rethink this. Unfortunately, I make all my own supplements from herbs and stuff. So I'm feeling okay, but making supplements is very time consuming. And that's why people, if a physician tells you you really need to add this supplement, you kind of want to have something that's easy because you're already dealing with stuff that you really don't want to have to go home and start making your supplements. But, and it is tedious. I have a bunch that I have to make, and I'm like, I don't want to. But I have to, because these herbs actually help control my Lyme symptoms. And it's been a couple of weeks, and my Lyme symptoms are really aggravating me, so I have to do it for my health. It's either that or I go on another slew of antibiotics, and I don't want to do that. And there's a reason, and I don't want to shame my Lyme doctor at all because he's trying to help me. But the words he said, well, let's experiment with this. And I'm like, I got very quiet. And as he's typing in and stuff, he goes, I know you don't want to do this. And I said, no, I don't. And I said, I really have to think about it before I go and get these, because I don't want to be back on a routine antibiotic treatment plan. I just don't want it. So you know what? That's motivated me. Get your supplements taken care of, Laura. They're herbs. You know that they're safe. Do it. Sometimes we need a kick in the fanny to get things done. So that's the Now Foods. They sell a lot of supplements, so that's a good brand. New Go nutrition bars, nut burgers, Nutiva, once again nut butter, 1 Degree Organic, Organic Food Bar, Organic Valley, Organicville, Pacific Beach Peanut Butter, Pasha Chocolates, Pure Bar, Que Pasa, R.W. Garcia Tortilla Chips, Rapunzel, Natural Coast, Raw Revolution. I've heard of them, but I've never tried their food. Rhodes End Organic, Rudy's Bakery, and I do buy Rudy's breads in the freezer. They're expensive, but once in a while, if I'm not making gluten-free bread, I'll just go and buy one. So they're still a good brand. Sam Bazin, I think, Sambazon. I've not heard of it. SOL, so Soul Cuisine, Square Bar, Sunshine Burger, Teddy Peanut Butter, Theo's Chocolates, Uncle Matt's Organic, Shiloh Farms, Star West Botanicals, and they actually sell herbs and stuff. Sweet Creek Foods, Tasty Brand, Two Moms in the Raw, Vermont Village Applesauce. And there is another product that has Vermont on it. It's a milk product that's in Vermont that has been sold out. But the applesauce, Vermont Village Applesauce, is cool. And you know, when I think of Vermont, it's a neighboring state for me, and they're just known for just down to earth type stuff. And so that was the other one I'll share later. Was disheartening. But Vita Spelt, Viva Pura, and Wild Friends Foods, Yogi Tea, because a lot of people ask me, you know, what kind of tea brands do you recommend? And I've always recommended Yogi because they're very natural. They don't put extra stuff in it. So if you're not one like myself, where you dry your own herbs or you order your herbs in bulk that you can't grow, sometimes it's just easier to go down and get a box of tea, and Yogi is the brand that you really want to consider. And then there's Yummy Earth and Yum Earth that are so good, and Zulka. Now, they're independent owners, and so they're striving to stay, you know, to be ahead of the game, and by providing quality, healthy foods for us. So try to support these companies. Now I'll go up the list of some brands. I can't name all of them because I'll be here all day. And but some things that I have used, I'm not going to buy again. So I don't know some of these. So Annie's Natural, they're now sold. They're now made by General Mills, and that was a popular product that we bought when our kids were younger, and a lot of people in our church group were buying this. And one of my friends from church, her husband was a cardiologist, and she was very careful about the foods for her children too. And she was sharing that product with me, and she goes, Laura, this is really good. I looked at it, and it is more expensive than the blue box, but it was a quality. But now they are now being sold by General Mills. Let me see. I'm just going to go through some of these. The Arrowhead Mills that I used to buy, I still have some. I'm going to use it up. They are now processed by Han Celestial. And Han Celestial has purchased a lot of companies. Let's see. Back to Nature is by Kraft. Barbara's, we used to buy their cereals, is now by Weetabix Food Company. Bare Naked, they're sold by Kellogg's now. And I used to buy Bare Naked granola, but I also make my own. So is it a loss for me? No, but is it a loss for you? Because you're out there thinking, oh, I'll just get this because it's healthy. And so what I want to first say is check the labels. Just because they've been sold out, they're sold out to a company that believes in GMOs. So you have to decide, do you want to support that, or is it okay, those foods with the ingredients on it, when you read it, are you okay with that? And I do not judge anybody choosing these products. I'm just sharing some of the information that I learned. And I mean, I'll share it with my husband, and it's up to him. I just know what I want in my body. So I've got too many complications, so I don't want all this stuff. This is interesting. Ben & Jerry's Organic by Unilever, the people who make soap. Boca Foods is by Heinz and Kraft. Bolthouse Farms is by Campbell's Soup. And I was a little disappointed. I have found that we do have some Campbell's Soup on the shelf, but I have found that their flavors are not the same. And we have them on the shelf. We have some chicken noodle and we have some tomato. So, if either of us are sick, we just kind of want that. But there are ways to make your own chicken noodle soup, and I will share that with you because that's what I taught my daughter, because she couldn't have the wheat that's in noodles. My husband is fine with that. That's why we have it on the shelf. But I taught my daughter my youngest one, because she couldn't have the gluten either. And so I said, well, there's a way to make your own, because when she was going off to college, she was making her own chicken noodle soup. And you know what? A lot of these things that come in a can, yeah, you have to take time and make it yourself, but it can be done. If this stuff bothers you, there's alternates, and we shouldn't be so afraid. But like, say you're visiting somebody and they pull out a can of something that you typically would not want, there's no harm in you having something, just drink a lot of water later. What I'm saying is, I don't think we should be rude, because we don't know the situation that they live in, so maybe that's all they could afford. But and some people use the Campbell products for like cream of soups and stuff like that. There are ways to make cream of soups, and I had to learn this because I can't have dairy in my food, so I just make my own cream of soup. So some of these things don't bother me, because for years now, over 10 years, I have been having to do this, and I don't know how long it's been, but I've had to do this. And it started out when our middle daughter, we found out all her allergies, and then we were learning more about why we had certain things going on. And so, you're told this is why. And so it was all good news back then. It was hard to find foods, but you know what? I adapted and I started cooking these things. So I'll share how to make some cream of chicken soup and cream of mushroom. I did share one with some celery soup, and you can turn that into a cream of celery. Okay, chat here. I've never heard of Bread Shop, but Breyer's Organic is by Unilever. Seriously, I don't know why Unilever is making dairy products. Brown Cow is by Dannon. I mean, Campbell's Organic, you're expected to be by Campbell Soup. I always have thought. Coleman Naturals by Purdue. Let's see, I'm going to just... DiGiorno Organic is by Heinz and Kraft. Dove Organic is by M&M Mars. Let's see. I'm just going to share ones that I know here in New Hampshire. Oh, the brand Food Should Taste Good. I used to buy some of their chips that I think they were like sweet potato chips and stuff like that. I believe that's the company name. They're sold by General Mills. So I will just stick with my zucchini chips I make. How's that? And I used to love those. Gerber Organic Baby Food is by Nestle. And Nestle is known for a lot of sugar in their food. So check the jars, you know, in terms of their sugar content. It says organic, but these people also believe in GMOs. So just keep that in mind. And you can make your own baby food. Gold Medal Organic is by General Mills. I always thought they were by General Mills, but I'm going to... Honest Tea. Coca-Cola owns 40% at stake. Let's see. Kashi is by Kellogg. Kettle, the chips and stuff, is by Diamond Foods. Kraft Organic is, of course, with Kraft. That doesn't surprise me. Larabar, they are sold by General Mills now. Late July, they have a... Snyder's is the company. They have a minority stake. So you have to kind of look into that a little bit. Maranatha is by Han Celestial. Han Celestial owns a lot. Morningstar Farms is by Kellogg's. And let's see, I'm going to just go through a few. Nabisco Organic is by Kraft, but that doesn't surprise me. Naked Juice is by Pepsi. Looks really pretty in the grocery refrigerator, in the produce aisle. Nature's Farm is by Tyson. Odwalla is by Coca-Cola. This is the one I was talking about. Organic Cow Vermont is by Horizon. I'm going to go back up there. Horizon. Horizon Organic is owned by Dean. So I don't know what the connection is there, but it is certainly worth taking a look at for yourselves. And let's see. Orville Redenbacher is by Kong Agra. Let's see. Some of these things I don't know, and they might be on my shelves, and I just don't know that they're there. Peet's Coffee and Tea, Peet's, P-E-E-T-S. That's by Sara Lee and Master Blenders. Power Bar. That's by Nestle. I had one a long time ago, and that was full of sugar, but it was so filling. So I understand why people buy it. Ragu Organic is by Campbell's. See, some of these things don't even surprise me. Seeds of Change is by M&M Mars. This is sad. Silk is by White Wave Foods. They believe in GMOs. Stonyfield is by Dannon. Let's see. Testito Organic is by Pepsi. Tropicana Organic is Pepsi. V8 Organic is by Campbell's. So you know what you do if you like V8 juice, and I do like V8 juice, but you can make your own V8 juice by blending up your vegetables, and then it's a fresh one. You know, your vegetables are nice and fresh, and you can have it. And you can can juices and stuff. So if you get too much, you can can it. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff here, so I don't want to go into all of the products. I will share the link below, and it's worth reading. I don't share this to make you throw everything out in your cupboards, because first of all, I don't think you should do that right now. More so because of how things are. And those of you who are on a budget, you depend on these things. If you don't have a garden and you don't have resources, this is what you depend on. So you need to stop and think, okay, should I throw these out? No, don't. Are they good for you? Maybe not. But you have to also understand you can't throw all your food out and not eat. You do need food to survive. You need water to survive. So just be, as you go shopping, consider changing up what you're consuming. Now, if you don't have to depend on what's in the grocery stores, then try to do the best you can to make your own. Now, for us, David does use some cereals. He has some brand cereals that he likes. And once in a while, I'll eat one that I shouldn't because it has wheat in it. And then I regret it. But typically, I've got oatmeal. And I can make granola. I can make oatmeal, bread. I can make oatmeal flour. So oats are something that is a stock item here. So if you ever see me in the grocery store, and I don't buy the packets because those are full of sugar. So if it says it's maple flavored oatmeal, there's sugar in there. I used to hassle my husband about it because it's like, why? Because he used to pick them up a lot. I said, you really shouldn't. Said, I can make you regular oatmeal and you just add maple syrup. And I mean, yes, that's a sugar, but it's not additional sugars. So those are the things that you can do. So oatmeal, maple syrup, honey. These are some staple things that I do. I do purchase flours, and now I'm going to just stay strictly with Red Mill, as well as, what's the company in Vermont? Just over the border. And I buy from them as well. King Arthur. They have gluten-free flours too. So I buy from them, and that's where I get my yeast. And they're a good company. So I do go through, and everybody has controversy over different things. But I haven't had any problems with their stuff. And you can also buy lentils and beans and stuff in a bag, and you can make your own baked beans. But there's other brands of baked beans on the shelf. We have B&M baked beans, and we have another one we purchased just to have on the shelf. So we have a couple of cans, like about 4 cans. Even though I can make my own baked beans, sometimes having those, like, we've been gone all day, and it's like I don't, because I don't can up baked beans, and I'm planning on doing it, but I haven't. So those are on the shelf as, a backup for when we want something and when neither one of us want to make anything elaborate. So we'll cook those up, and we'll add a few other things, and then we'll be happy. It's not very much. We might have that with rice. And rice is not the best thing for you, but if you rinse it out and cook it, and then rinse it again and cook it, it is actually okay. It doesn't take everything out, but when you're hungry, rice is a staple item to have on your shelves. I'm not going to tell you what kind to get because people need to afford what they put on their shelves. So, like, my husband goes to the dairy aisle. Right now, I started buying kefir by a brand that I can trust, but I'm also have started to make my own kefir. And, it has a lot of, probiotics, and I'm one of those people. Probiotics is just, I know it's good, and a lot of people say it's great, you should take a probiotic pill. I don't take probiotic pills. I used to take them, and it was like, I'm not doing it because it didn't make a difference. But I've gotten used to kefir. Oh, wait a minute, I'm saying it wrong. It's kefir. Okay, so I'm learning that I need to change my brain and think this correctly. So kefir, kefir. So I'm making my own. And I'm really happy about that because then I'm in control of what goes in there. So it's exciting for me. And I'm on the first, because it's cold, the house got down like to 68 last night. So it could take up to 2 days for the kefir to start making kefir. So, but in the meantime, I'm drinking the store-bought brand, and I'm okay with that. Hopefully they don't sell out. But these are the things so we go into the dairy aisle. I get that. My husband gets some yogurts, and he gets cheese, and he also gets his milks like that, and I think that's it in the dairy. And once in a while we'll buy a big bag of shredded cheese because he loves quiche when I make him quiche. And it's great because I can make it for him. He can eat it heated up or cold. So he likes it because he can have it for lunch and not have to worry about heating it up if he doesn't want to. And then he might go down the breakfast aisle, and I might go down the baking aisle. But those are about the only places we go unless we need paper goods or something. And cleaning goods, I buy in bulk. Like I buy Dawn dish detergent, and I'm stuck on certain products because of the multi-purposes that I've used them for. And I, like with Dawn dish detergent, I don't even have to use a quarter size for the few dishes that we wash. So I'm very careful there. And I do have other products like Burt's Bees. I was really disappointed because they're no longer by themselves. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Burt's Bees is now owned by another company, and I think it's Colgate. Hold on, don't take my word for it yet. Let's see. They're owned by Clorox, and that kind of like creeps me out. We do have bleach in the house, but we don't use it for cleaning unless there's ever a real emergency. Clorox is great, or bleaches, but you can put a little bit in your water if you need to, in an emergency if there's no clean water around. But I do recommend having a water filtration system, and you know, we have some on our counters, and we also made one outside for all our rainwater. And because the season is changing, what I'm doing is I'm filtering out there, and then I'm taking that and I'm filtering it again inside the kitchen so that I know how good it is. And so that's what I'm doing because that's what I want to save on our water bill. But there's all kinds of filters out there that you can use to filter your water. And for a long time, I was using one of those pitcher ones, and I was using that for quite a long time. But then, you know, I was able to acquire a Berkey, and there's Alexa Pure. There's a few others that you can purchase that are great. Their filters are expensive, but you can also get the filters on Amazon a little bit less costly, and you want to be very aware of it. But what my husband and I did was we took 2 stock pots, and I think, I'm not sure if I showed how he did it, but we took 2 stock pots, and I did share it in one of my very early videos. My early years, I was more quiet, and I still get very quiet at times, and it could be because of the way I'm feeling or if I'm tired. Any of those things can make a difference on how loud or soft I am. And I've been using a different computer, so it seems like the volume's coming out better, so that's good. So we made this water filter to have outside, so we had nice cold water out there, and it worked great. But as we bring in all this rainwater, we're actually putting it through a second process. But you know what it's doing? I'm not having to use so much water. And we use our water for cooking, for teas, for coffee, oatmeal. So we use the filtered water. So we're just putting it through. And I don't think we use tons of water for drinking, but I mean, I drink about 32 ounces of water a day. So that's quite a bit. A cup of coffee. And let's see, and then if I make a tea, you know, because I generally drink at least 1 cup of tea, if not 2. So I drink a lot of water, and he does too. So those are some things that you can do. And then in your produce, then I go to the produce aisle, and I'm there. Now, if you can't afford the produce, another good option is to get frozen vegetables, because those are good for you too. And I personally prefer most frozen vegetables like corn, peas. Peas get kind of icky in a can, but we have canned peas too. And I didn't grow enough to be able to can my own. So, but you can buy frozen peas. You can also buy dehydrated peas, and that you just rehydrate. So there are things that you can do on a healthy level. And so those are some things that you might want to consider if you don't have a garden. But that's where I go. It's kind of like go down the dairy aisle if I need my kefir, but he'll go kefir. He'll go and get that for me. I'll go into the produce and he'll come find me. And yeah, I'm easy to find. I'm in between the green colors. But he comes and finds me, and then if I haven't baked him bread, he'll go down the bread aisle. And I got to start making that more frequently. I've just been tired, and then I'm outside a lot. And as the warm weather gets here and I'm done with all the yard work, I'll be able to make more breads for him, which will make him happy. And it's kind of a nice thing to do. You can give it as a gift, and people like homemade bread as well. So those are some ideas to kind of offset the foods that are now being sold to big conglomerates that believe in GMOs or add sugar. And I mean, I used to love Nestle products when I was a young girl, but I find that they have too much sugar for me to enjoy now, so I don't buy them. And my husband does buy some, like it's Halloween time, so he'll pick up some bags, and you can put your candy in the freezer, folks. You don't have to eat it all at once, because it'll stay in the freezer, or just put it in a container, like some of the containers you've seen me use, with a seal lock, and it'll keep it fresh. And put it up high and out of the way so you're not tempted to eat it all. Oh my gosh, when the girls were young and we handed out candy, they didn't do much trick-or-treating, but they did once in a while. But they always dressed up, and they went to some church things and stuff, so I made a lot of costumes. But they would dress up for the kids that came to our door, and I'm just not one that feels it's right to give kids a bunch of sugar. So they would do that, so I'd go out and they would offer to do that, and I said okay. I would buy them their favorite candy and let them have that. But I learned a lot of people, I used to buy it in advance. And this is when I was actually gaining weight. I got up to about 200 pounds, and I'm not proud of that. And, because you start eating it. If you're a food eater when it comes to nerves and stress, and if you're a stress eater, that's me. So I don't keep that food in because of that. So what can you do? You just change things up. And like I said, I will share with you how to make chicken noodle soup. I can share with you how to make and not have to buy it in a can. And then if you are one who likes to process your food, you can can it up in a pressure canner. You have to have a pressure canner for that. And if not, you put it in freezer safe containers and put it in your freezer, leaving about an inch or more of headspace. So there are options, and the reason I wanted to share a little bit of this, because it's important for us to know what is in our food. And it's also important for us to be healthy, because the healthier we are with the foods we consume, the fuller we are, so we don't eat as much. And I know I'm kind of like a broken record because I've shared this before. But anyways, I just wanted to bring this to you. I hope it's received in a positive manner, and I hope that you have a fabulous day. God bless. Enjoy your day.